I'm Kari Samuels, your intuitive counselor and happiness coach with your October forecast. And you're going to love this month. It is a breath of fresh air after everything that you've been through. Yay, the retrogrades are over. Not just from last month, the retrogrades and eclipse season's over, but really we've been dealing with retrogrades all year long. Since January, it's been like woof, just like retrograde after retrograde. And now it's time to finally move full speed ahead with your plans, action, new growth, new beginnings. It's really fantastic. This is all about new right now. We actually began the month with a new moon, and not just that, it was some people in Europe and other parts of the world experienced the new moon on October 1st. The rest of us experienced it on September 30th. In many parts of the world, it was at 1:11. The time was at 1:11, so that was a lot of ones. So this is really about ones are the number of new beginnings. Well, we're actually in a one universal month. October 2016 is a one universal month. It's actually a 10 universal month, which is one magnified because you have the one with the zero next to it. And the zero magnifies everything. It's wholeness, it's completion, it's spiritual protection, and it's also about coming full circle. And that's exactly what happens when we're in a 10. You're completing a cycle and beginning a new cycle. So this is really important. And as a matter of fact, we're going to be in a one universal year in 2017, which is a new 9-year cycle. So this last quarter is about wrapping up this 9-year cycle that we're in. But you're coming full circle. This last quarter is about really not just wrapping things up in the past, but how you're going to move forward. This is about planting seeds for what you want in the next 9 years. So instead of looking at it as like, oh, dealing with your past and going through these intense spiritual lessons, you've been doing that. You've been emptying your cup. You've been weeding your garden. You still need to do that. But this is very much about new things, new growth, new ideas, and seed planting. Okay, because the seeds that you plant now, because this is a 1 month now and we're in a one universal year next year, the seeds you're planting now are going to be mirrored and nurtured all of next year. So you want to pay careful attention to what you're nourishing in your mind, okay? What you're thinking about, what you're doing. It's all very magnified this month with that zero, but you have the protection and you have a new perspective. So this is the time to really reinvent yourself and think about who you are becoming, what desires that you've been enlightened with that you want to fulfill and manifest. It's an incredible time for manifesting your heart's desires. We are also blessed with the sun in Libra until October 23rd. Libra is a beautiful sign. In fact, it's the sign of beauty and love and attraction because it's ruled by Venus. And Venus teaches you to attract through love. Venus teaches you to attract through beauty, not just physical beauty, but being beautiful on the inside through love, through focusing on love, through focusing on what you love to do, through art, through nature. This is everything that raises your vibration. And when your vibration is raised, and when you're emanating with that vibration of love, you attract all good things to you. So focus on love, focus on art, focus on creativity, and focusing on balancing your aura, your energy, your life with things and people that you absolutely love. And that's going to attract money, prosperity, joy, all good things to you. Now, Libra, actually both Libra and Scorpio, which we move into after October 23rd, are the relationship signs. So relationships are going to be in bold relief this month. You're really going to be focusing on relationships because relationships are what show you what's going on inside of you. Relationships are the most beautiful mirror for you to understand how you love yourself. So it's really important that whatever comes up for you this month, that you're recognizing how much you have self-respect, how much you really love yourself, how much you're truly honoring your heart and your heart's desires, and everything's going to mirror that. Libra is such a powerful mirror. If you know the symbol for Libra, it's the scales, which is all about balance, because Libra, more than any other sign, is reflective in relationships. Libra loves to relate and be in relationships because its sole purpose is to show you how that's mirroring. So we're all affected by this right now. And then when we move into Scorpio, October 23rd, it's important that you have a very strong sense of self. And this is why we are in this one universal month, because one teaches you about the self, honoring the self, being true to the self, being self-motivated, self-oriented, because that is the way to have balance in relationships. Libra by nature can be a little too accommodating sometimes. They can tend toward people-pleasing. And whether you're a Libra or not, we're all going to be experiencing this energy. And Scorpio has really no natural boundaries, and it's about deepening emotional intensity and connection. So if you don't have a strong sense of self, you're going to get lost in other people. And if you've ever gone out to dinner with a Libra, you know what I'm talking about. Or if you are a Libra, this is usually how it goes. So you ask your Libra friend, where would you like to go out to dinner? And they say, where do you want to go out to eat? And then you say, well, what kind of food do you want? And they say, what are you in the mood for? And it goes on like that. And finally you make a decision, unless you're the Libra. And then everybody else makes a decision, which is wonderful. It's a beautiful quality to be so harmonious and love each other so much. However, it can throw you off balance, and it can throw other people off balance, because unless you're very clear about your needs, you can actually wind up repressing your needs, and then you just wind up resenting people, and then nobody's clear about what anybody wants, okay? Because you're just projecting on other people what you think they want, and you may not be right. So it's really important that you're clear about your own needs. And this is really going to be coming in bold relief during the second half of the month. We have a beautiful full moon in Aries. Now the full moon happens when the sun and the moon are opposing each other, because it's this tension of the sun, which is yourself and how you project yourself, and the moon, which is your inner life. And this is where things come to light, whether you're being true to yourself or not. So Aries is all about the self. It's like that number one. It's confident and courageous and about initiating new things. And the Libra is the opposite. So that's why these full moons are so important, because it helps bring the balance of that tension. Well, it's actually, we're being opposed by the planet Uranus as well, which is all about freedom and truth and liberation. And anywhere that you're not really being true to yourself in terms of freedom or what's really inside of you is going to be brought to light during that second half of the month. And it's also occurring on the 16th of the month. 16 is the karmic number of truth. It teaches you about truth. And you know we're in 2016, so we're all learning those karmic lessons of truth. The truth is coming out, isn't it? And the truth will set you free. So I have 3 suggestions for you to how to really maximize the energy this month so you can manifest your heart's desires. The first thing is, put yourself first. This is a 1 month. This is about being true to yourself. This is about listening to yourself. You are not doing anybody any favors by trying to please them at your own expense. You're only going to wind up suppressing your desires, which makes your manifesting way farther in the future than you'd like it. Then you wind up resenting people. And when you actually take action and are true to yourself by asking yourself what you desire and making that something that you follow, other people have the clarity too to do what they desire. But if you're just like sort of doing what you think everybody else you think they want, you're actually not truly understanding what they want either, and you're just muddying the waters. So be clear with yourself and do things for yourself, and it's actually going to start balancing the karma of you and the people around you. When you're doing something that's actually true to you, you're making room for everybody to do what's right for them. So remember that. Do not be a martyr, okay? And the second thing is to focus on the future. We spent the last 9 months focusing on our past issues that weren't resolved in our spiritual lessons, and that was intense, and it could be hard to move out of that, but it's really time to move forward. This cardinal air of Libra, that's the element of Libra. It's like a breath of fresh air that's going to lift you up and move you forward. It's like the wind, so carry with the winds of change and go forward. So it's important to keep in mind that the more you focus on the past or think about the past, you're bringing yourself into the past energy. You're really putting that energy out in the world. All the emotional charge that you have about the past is being carried with you. That is still creating your future. But if you're focusing on what your heart desires, if you're focusing on what you want, what you're becoming, what fuels you, that's the energy that you're carrying with you. That's the energy that magnetizes people and opportunities to you. And so even when you're thinking about what you want, it's important that you don't phrase it in a way that it's about what you don't want anymore. Because still that's about the past. Like, oh, I don't want to be in a job where I'm abused or whatever. That's great that you recognize that. But think about it in proactive terms. I want to be in a career that I'm appreciated in. You see how much more positive that energy is? So the more forward moving, the more positive, the more present moment that you can think and act and be, the more you're going to be carried toward where you truly want to be with your heart's desires. So the third thing is take action towards something new. This is a time of reinventing yourself. This is a time where you've been receiving that one energy is all about being in alignment with spirit and receiving divine downloads, receiving inspiration, and you're going to receive a lot of new ideas. Now that you've really emptied the cup and weeded out your garden, you have room for new growth. And so you're going to receive all of this vital information about what your next step is. You're reinventing yourself. So yes, it's really important that you keep with action on what you've always wanted, but do something new with it. Take a new tack on it. Do something creative with it. Do something entirely different. Because you're reinventing yourself now, it's really important that you do things in a totally new way with a fresh perspective. So think of this as your seed planting time for next year, which will also be the next 9 years. Think of it as, how can I possibly reinvent myself with something that I've been afraid of that I want to take action on now? And remember, it's not just about thinking about it. Taking action doesn't mean just thinking, because you can visualize a washboard stomach as long as you want. You got to do some sit-ups. So I know that if you do these 3 things, if you're true to yourself, if you stay true to your heart moving forward and visualize and create that energy of what you want and take inspired action on it, you absolutely cannot go wrong. So I hope I've inspired you to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. And if you've enjoyed this video, share it with your friends. I know they will appreciate you for it. And I want to hear what you are doing. What new inspired action are you doing? What is it that you're doing differently, that you've been afraid to do, that is going to reinvent yourself, the new you, moving forward? Leave a comment below and we can all support each other. So I am wishing you an awe-inspiring, incredible October and beyond. Lots of love. Bye for now.